So this topic, perception of beauty and self-confidence, is a topic that's very close to my heart, and it comes from a place. I don't even know when the seeds were planted because I grew up in an environment where the concept of how you look or some perception of what is beautiful and what is not beautiful was extremely important in 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 my environment. And I grew up believing that certain things make you beautiful and certain things are not considered to be beautiful. And much later in my life, I realized the impact of that baggage in every other aspect of what I was doing, my career, my relationships, how I felt about myself, how I was interacting with my friends, how I sometimes chose my boyfriends, and how I behaved around those people. So the layers, the impact of this goes way deeper than we realize, and that is the purpose of this class. The idea is not to throw away all the beauty products that you have. The idea is not to stop grooming or uh, try to look pretty or whatever. The idea is to understand where is that ask coming from and why is that ask so significant? Why does it shake us so much? So, what I'm going to do here is share my screen and take you guys through. All right. Um, so, the first thing that I want to talk about here is these list of sentences that I have on the screen. And when you read them, is there any sense of, oh my God, I've done that, or I know this feeling? Have you been did you ever find yourself checking too often in the mirror, or you end up actually avoiding looking into the mirror altogether? Do you find it very difficult to decide what to wear when you have to go out? And that's not because you have too many clothes or you don't have too many clothes. You know that feeling. And do you find yourself comparing with others in your head? You're constantly looking at people and you're trying to decide if you look better or they look better, and so on. You dismiss compliments when you receive them. You just end up avoiding social activities, or you always find yourself seeking validation from people around you, people who love you, or you see or you meet someone for the first time. Do you feel anxious, depressed, or you feel ashamed in certain episodes of stepping out and having to see people? And this is all connected to how you think you look. The broader theme undercurrent is to remember every question, every discussion is just how do I think I look to others, right? And how that is important. Now, if you've been through any of this, what I want you to definitely note is this slide. This is where we're going to talk about why this concept, why this idea becomes so important in our life. Like, when does it start? Does it start when you start going to school and someone teaches you, oh, today you're going to learn the meaning of the word beauty? No, it starts way before that. So, when you're born as a kid, the first influence, the first sense of comfort are your mom and dad. You know, how are your parents around you? A child just needs love and attention and care. So if you're crying and your mom holds you in the arm and your dad plays with you and gives you the love and attention you need, there is a sense of obvious comfort. There is a feeling, there's a subconscious body memory that, oh, I'm wanted. You know, people around me love me. They take care of me. You don't seek anything more than that. So it starts from that simple place of comfort. Then, as you start growing up, even if you don't remember much, sibling comparison and the way people behave in the family becomes very important, like cousins and other family members, even how adults are talking about each other's looks. Oh, you've gained so much weight. You know, they are talking amongst themselves, but you're in the room and you're absorbing comparisons. You're absorbing comments around body, about looks, about skin color, about hair type. So you don't consciously remember the conversations, but as a kid, you take it all in. You're in that energy of judgment around physical appearances. And when you're in the energy of that judgment, you uh you don't even know, but you think that is the normal feeling. this is home. This is happening in your home. So this is right. This is wrong. You're not even analyzing, but you find it so natural. So you are in that feeling of judgment. The judgment is within you. You haven't started doing it actively in your life, but it feels natural to you. Cultural environment. Oh my God, this is my favorite topic because on this, because we we think beauty as tall. I don't know. Everyone has their own definition of what beauty is. There has to be a certain kind of body measurements, a certain kind of skin tone, some hair type, but it is so driven by the culture. So I grew up in India, and I don't know what is the status right now when kids are born, but when I was born, uh, everyone was obsessed about your skin color being fair, lighter skin color. So if you are lighter skin color, you are pretty. You are automatically beautiful. So when I was born, I was lighter skin color. And I remember, I still vividly remember, even as a kid, someone coming and trying to like be, oh, you're so cute, you're so pretty, tu kitni gori hai, which literally means you're so fair, you're so light color. So for me, this shade color that I have, this particular shade of my skin, means beautiful because I received a lot of that, right? And that's it. So this, if I maintain this in my life, this particular shade, as I grow old, I'll continue to stay beauty. So that's what I understood. That's what's embedded in my body. And then 6 years later, my younger sister was born, and she wasn't born with as fair a skin, as light color. And that, I think that when I go back, that was probably as a kid was the pivotal moment in my life when things shifted in my body because I saw people coming in and looking at both of us and be like, oh, she looks different. There were even comments like, did she get exchanged in the hospital to my mom? Like, it's unbelievable. But skin color, the shade, whatever this freaking shade is what meant a lot in my own immediate cultural environment, and that stayed with me. Uh, my sister, when she started growing up, and I was growing up, so we had the 6 year age gap. So obviously, teenage issues, puberty, all of that happened at different times. But we both grew up in an environment where we both had this deeper understanding that this is the only way you can get to a state of being beautiful. I had the pressure of maintaining this skin shade or lightening it further, and she had the pressure of lightening it further, at least to get to the point where I am or other members of the family are, who are perceived beautiful. So we both started our journey of trying to be beautiful subconsciously. We were not applying anything, we were not going to doctors or anything. We were too little, too young to do that. But subconsciously, our journey to get somewhere started at a very early age. And that's because of the cultural environment we come from. Someone might be in a cultural environment where, the whole family or the whole environment is more about how much you weigh. Are you fat? Are you thin? Are you whatever? And then that becomes the focus point of a child, because the child is absorbing likewise comments constantly in the environment. Um, the other thing is any kind of bullying issues that we face. It could be something in school, in your neighborhood, amongst your cousins, where someone just constantly passes a nasty remarks or something. And people who are bullying you are, who are these bullying? They are a year or two older sometimes. They are also going through their own baggage, but that's not the point. I'm not trying to talk in favor or not in favor of them. The point is, no one knows better. It's not like there was some judge and you've been told to receive their ultimate remark. But to us, when you receive that constantly, when someone makes fun of you publicly because of a certain body feature, it stays with you. It's the biggest impact one can receive. Sometimes we don't even realize how one episode, literally one episode of bullying in school, while you were playing with your friends, can leave an imprint that will just shake your confidence for the rest of your life. You don't even need a regular series of things. So that is again a very important aspect that happens in the way we perceive what is beauty and what is body image. Media exposure. I mean, kids that are born today, I have extra blessings for them because there's so much exposure in media around them. But when we were born, television, radio, this was the more common medium, and we used to get magazines and newspapers, right? And growing up in India, the most common advertisement was skin lightening creams, skin whitening cream. And I remember my aunts, they used to have, like, there was this cream called Fair and Lovely. They used to have it in their whatever vanity case or like makeup products. So basically anything that lightens your skin tone. um and So that was the norm, like I never questioned it. Yes, this is what you need to do. You start growing old and you start to use these products so that you continue to look pretty, or you get prettier day by day. And that media exposure, those kind of advertisements, stay with you. I still remember advertisements where a girl would get a better job or a guy would fall in love with her because she's used this product that lightened her skin. So I vividly remember the ad. I wish I could show it to you guys right now. I didn't do that work of finding it on YouTube. But it's crazy. It's crazy because visual memories, the environment, all of that is giving me a constant message. And I'm forming the idea of beauty and confidence, beauty and growth, beauty and success from this. So if I have this kind of beauty, I will be happy, I will be successful, I will be receiving everything that I want in my life. So I don't even know when I started forming this notion, but I've already formed it. I've already started living it. And now I'm stepping out in the world with this pre information. The last point here is any episode of abuse during childhood, anything. And I have personally been through one or two such very, very vivid ones. Now, why do I want to talk about this is, if you remember an episode of abuse where someone, whoever, happened to put you in that state, when someone touches you inappropriately, when someone tries to just put you in that uncomfortable position, right? As a kid, you're not rationalizing it. You don't know what is happening. More often than not, these people who get that close are actually known people. So you know them. So you don't even know how to react to push this person away. It is confusion in your head. You feel, why do you remember episodes of abuse? Because you have felt a discomfort, a sensation that was very nasty in your body. This person is known who's trying to be not good to you, making you feel uncomfortable. So you felt uncomfortable. You don't understand what is right and wrong. You don't probably know what is good touch, bad touch, and so on. You're not even there as yet. But something in you doesn't feel good. That's why you remember the episode of abuse. So if your body has received a sensation about this discomfort, this bad touch, it stays in your body. You just feel bad about something in your body. You don't even know what that something is. And that bad feeling stays with you. So now that you go out in the world with all these preconceived ideas about beauty, confidence, this and that, you're also stepping out in the world with that unhealed, disturbing sensation in your body. And all of this becomes this freaking cocktail that's actually not good. And you are stepping out every day, somehow dealing with this bad feeling, somehow trying to have these pointers of what's good, what do I need to improve in my body, what do I need to improve about the way I look, how do I step out and I get success, only if I had this in my life. And all of that is playing a role in this heavy feeling around the topic of beauty, body image, and confidence. So it's not one thing, it's not one person, it's not one episode, one person, one incident, whatever could have left a bigger impact. But all of these factors play a very, very significant role together to make you question, when did I start attaching my looks to the way I feel so strongly? If you read this line, so when we attach our body image to self image, we feel we are objects to be evaluated based on our beauty. And this type of continuous scrutiny impacts our self esteem. So you have started, you forgot, some part of you forgets that you're not an object. You can't keep fine tuning yourself like an object, and then it is going to reach some point and it's going to get awarded by something. Like you not. But before someone else comes and puts that pressure on you, somewhere you grew up with that pressure. Somewhere one episode, something around you happened enough number of times where this becomes your identity. This needs to detach. This is where we confuse ourselves. Now, what exactly is beauty? As I said, I grew up in India and skin lightening was a big deal. There are countries and cultures where tanning and is the right thing. So skin whitening and tanning industries are both billions of dollars of industry, and they send out absolute opposing opposite messages. So which one am I supposed to follow? So what is the standard? Who is deciding? So if tanning is such a big industry, if I go to those countries, oh my God, I'll be like the diva, right? But if skin whitening is the important thing, that like what are we doing? Where, so am I just in the wrong place? What if I was born in this country? What if I was belonging to a different environment, right? So these questions, we know this. I'm not giving you any information that you don't know. You know all of this. But the idea is to just pause, literally set this intention to look at this and again re kind of rewire something in our head that yes, this is true. Why am I getting so attached to this idea? And the whole concept of beauty industry, the entire premise is somewhere based on this one motto that you need this product to feel the empowerment. You need this to feel better. So if I buy that from them, not the product, the idea, the thought, then I tell myself subconsciously that means I'm not empowered now. That means right now I'm in a state of disempowerment. So when you give me this and I use this, I will start opening the doors of feeling empowered. So this whole thing of opposing messages constantly around us is something that confuses the hell out of your conscious and subconscious, and then we get into this zone of not knowing what to do. uh, so I want all of you to read this. I hope you can read this clear. What if we all take a trip to another planet in the galaxy and it's called Gaga Land? Now, everyone lives there. They're people like humans. They have a prosperous, advanced society. They're very warm, friendly, nice people. However, they evolved without the sense of sight. They can feel, they can smell, they can taste, they can hear, they can do everything, but they just can't see. That's how it is on this planet. Would you care how you look while you are at this planet? No one can see you. Would you feel the consciousness? Would you feel the tightness? Would you feel anything? You'll be so free flowing. You'll actually have good conversations with everyone. You would engage in the environment. You would just be not worried. That feeling, the answer and the if you imagine this even for 30 seconds in your head, that is the real ask of you, your authentic self. It is not dependent on where we are. I know we don't live on Gaga land, we live on planet Earth, which has its own issues, but the whole point is not about others. I'm not here to fix the beauty industry standards. I'm not here to fix people around you. The idea is to really understand, what does my core self want? What is my ask? How would I behave if I did not have any pressure to behave? Absolutely that. So, I mean, just connect to this idea and stay with that idea, because that is who you are. That is your actual ask. And no one has the right to get in your head and ask you to change your core ask because of whatever they think matters, right? So if this conversation happens, if I ask someone, and I've done this actually with some people, and I'm like, oh, are you beautiful? Often than not, the answer's really like a very like sheepish or whatever. And it's like, oh, so you're ugly. Oh, so I'm confused. I don't understand. The answer mostly, I'm not ugly, but I'm not that beautiful. I really want to talk to all of you What the fuck is that? What is that? Every time you say, I'm not that something, I'm not that beautiful, I'm not that gorgeous, I'm not that amazing, I'm not that something. We even say that with terms of skill. Oh, I'm not that good in this. I'm not that good in that. Like there's always this superlative, something that is out there, and I'm not that good. I'm constantly telling I'm not that good. Does that keep you humble? Is it coming from a place of, I don't like to brag about myself? No, you don't have to feel the energy of bragging. But every single time you say, I'm not that, and since this whole group is about beauty, I'm going to come back to beauty and not digress into other aspects of life. However, this is true for anything else that you say, I'm not that, whatever. But I'm not that beautiful means you are at all times carrying an image in your head about what needs to happen so that you become that beautiful. So there is this superlative, some sense of future image, that you need to get to. Otherwise, you are not that beautiful. So every single time you're conscious, the first line that I have is a line in of your conscious brain. What happens in the conscious mind, right? If only I had that. So this is your conscious line. What is happening? What is the message? What is the energy field that you tap in every single time you say that? So the next three sentences are basically the sentences of the energy or the subconscious chamber that you tap in. I'm not enough. I don't belong. I don't deserve. This is where you tap in. I'm not that. So basically, I don't deserve this compliment that you just gave me because I'm not that beautiful. Oh, you did so good. Oh, I'm not that, So every single time you're saying it, you are feeling not enough. You feel you don't belong in this space, and you feel undeserving of whatever is coming your way because you have to get to that. And when you live in this energy field, subconsciously, consciously, you you actually manifest. You get to the point where you stifle your own opportunities, where you cut away situations from your life that then feel like, oh, see, this didn't happen in my life because I'm not that beautiful. So, the world favors the beauty. But this is all happening. Can people really walk into your house and cause you damage without your consent? I mean, I'm not talking about robbers and all. All I'm trying to say is your head, your thoughts is something where you have to take that charge of why am I so caught up in this vicious cycle? Can I break it somehow? Like that curiosity is where you open new doors and you walk into the door and you find answers again within yourself. You see the root of the problem, and then you start making the change that you really need to make in order to not be caught up in this subconscious energy of feeling not enough, that I don't belong, that I don't deserve. And this is very, very, very important. Uh, when I was growing up, and I told you how it was important for me to, maintain the shade color of my skin so that I stay pretty amongst my tribe. Um, I remember I used to love swimming. I used to love playing out in the sun and all that. And I would get tan, and the chlorinated water would like make my skin look a different shade. This is like when I'm in my teenage years. And I so vividly remember people commenting, I'm talking about close family members. Why don't you try using this like home remedy? It's going to start like lighten your skin. Like basically, some things I'm not doing something right because see, the shade is changing. And now that pressure of maintaining a certain thing, otherwise, people come and tell me things became my life. And my parents were extremely obsessive and possessive about me. I was their firstborn, like I was their guinea pig for everything. So, so me and my sister, when I was like in my late teens and she was in her early teens, because we have a 6 year age gap, one of the things that used to happen was my mom would tell me no every time I would tell her I would go out with my friends and all because I'm pretty. So guys may hit on me, like I'm more prone to whatever, but she would say that to my sister. Like, it was so freaking annoying. So my sister grew up like, oh, Pooja is more loved, you care, you don't care about what is gonna happen to me if I step out. So she grew up with that insecurity. And I grew up, it's like, I don't like this color anymore. I remember a very distinct episode where I walked in when I was in the bathroom and I was so upset because probably my mom said no for something. And I went and I actually started scratching my face. Like I literally started like doing this because I wanted to peel this layer off. And I was like, if this is the problem, this is why you're going to control me. I don't want this color. I want to look ugly. I want to look less pretty or whatever. I don't want to look this skin color because you're stopping me from doing things that I actually love to do. And um, and that was so disturbing. So many years later, when me and my sister would sit and talk about this, and we would laugh now because we had a different learning experience through this journey, that she wanted to look like me and I wanted to look like her, so that our lives would go on to a track that would make us feel happy. It's so ironical, but this is I'm sharing my story because that's where I have the most context, and we will get into an interactive session where you can share something about your life. But the most important thing here is how every single time, because I wanted my sister's thing, I wanted that, but that doesn't mean something defined by society. Everyone will have their own that. You will have your own that. I grew up wanting that. My sister grew up wanting her own that. So every time I live in the energy of wanting something else, I am tapping into this. And when I tap into this, everything else starts to shake in my life. And that is something we all need to really like find. What is my dad? What is the dad I need to carry? In the breaking news, the most important thing is you may never get it. And that brings us to this question. What is your worst fear with respect to your looks? If you were to ask yourself, okay, I want to lose weight, or I want to gain weight, I want long hair, I don't want these birthmarks that I have on my face, I don't like the acne that I have, whatever is your list, what whatever you think about your own thoughts, what is the worst fear that you carry? And think about this question, because I'm going to talk and bring this question back into the discussion. Um, but this is something we need to really understand, that because answer to this question is what you are carrying every single day. Every time you want to pick out a dress and you don't know which one to wear, or you want to pick a color because someone once told you that this is the color that makes you look slimmer, or this is the color that makes you look a certain way. So even if you today feel like going for another color, you somehow, oh, I'm going to see this person again, so I don't want to hear this comment, I don't want them to notice me, I don't want them to see that my this part of my body is gay, has more flab now, whatever you thinking. It's because somewhere you're the part of your brain is protecting yourself from this worst fear that may happen if you don't maintain certain things. So it's a very protective space that we live in, because we want to, oh my god, what if this guy hurts me, what if this job is very bad, it's a bad environment, I don't want to do this job, what if this happens, what if that happens, what if I uh, get sick if I travel, what if the plane crashes if I get on a plane? And that's when we develop phobias and we develop OCDs and so on. But it all stems from this one space. What am I trying to avoid? And how can I not get to my worst place? How can I maintain a certain standard of looks and body image so that I don't have to face my worst fear? All right. And the next question that I have, which is, how many people do you really love from the core of your heart because they look a certain way? You just have someone that you love, love, love. You really like this person you love just because they look a certain way. I already know the answer. Obviously, it's a rhetorical question. The answer is zero. And I don't know if it's zero for you. I think it's zero. Um, the only thing that stays, the only thing that humans genuinely connect with another human being is the love that they carry, that the kindness that you can exchange with someone else, that the compassion that you share, whatever experiences, whatever growth and pain you have endured until this point in your life, all that is what makes you human. All that is what opens the doors to connection and what we understand love and friendship and everything. Nothing matters in terms of looks, nothing matters in terms of how someone is, what they're wearing, and how they present themselves. If this base foundation, if this criteria is not met, if someone's being unkind to you and they, in your version of drop dead gorgeous, look drop dead gorgeous, or they are just this epitome of beauty, it won't matter. It just won't matter. So we need to really like create like this line in our head that, okay, I have these beauty standards, I feel very conscious in my body, I think this in me needs to improve. And then there is a line, and then there is a place where all the love that I carry, all the kindness that I carry, all the things that I've seen in my life, those dark days when I was really grieving some pain, I was feeling so heartbroken about something that happened to me. And I yet somehow found the place to come out of it and fight back and live again and whatever. All that is my real self. So while I carry this list, all that I am and this list are not enmeshed. There is a separation line. And the more you start seeing this line, the more you start getting more and more carefree. You can still try to look presentable, and you still want to do makeup, and you still want to get ready, and you want to wear a certain kind of clothes because they make you look a certain way. But you're not obsessing about it. You're not stressed about, is it okay? Is it okay? Am I looking fine? If I this, what if, oh, that's why this person didn't talk to me because I'm not looking good today. Like this whole inner dialogue will just start to dissipate. It has to happen. There's no magical formula, because you have to remember who you are when you walk into the room is is your experience, is the kind of person you've become thus far, with everything else that you've seen in your life, the love, the way that you've been treated, everything, all of that makes you who you are. Not what you carry on, not my shade of skin. I could be any shade of skin, but if I'm talking gibberish right now, it doesn't matter. It doesn't make any difference to all of you. You're not here because I look a certain way. You're here because you connected to the topic. And this is exactly what happens in the real world. You go and you see people and you connect with them because of the way they make you feel, not because the way they look. And if you this is how you operate with everyone else around you, trust me, somewhere they are also doing the same to you. And if you actually come across someone who only cares about the way your hair is and the way the number on the weighing scale is, then you need to assess this person's presence in your life, and you need to draw your boundaries clearly. But it is very important to understand how these things are not meant to be tangled up and mixed up. I do want to share a little bit about, more about this topic, but I also want to talk about what I do, and I want to quickly share what got me here. So I am a trauma informed coach, and I'm an inner child healer, and I work with intergenerational trauma and family constellations. I Gaurav Deka is my teacher for inner child healing, and he also has helped me to understand a lot of different things about a trauma informed approach. And I learned intergenerational trauma and family constellations from Susie Tucker. And I'm still learning. I still keep deep diving into different learning methods. But at the same time, I passionately found my place in this world, in this field of providing some insights in some structured way to everyone, so that they don't have to live in a space where they don't know what to do with themselves. Because I've been there. I've had many episodes in my life, and I grew up in an environment where going out and seeking help was a taboo. But even after the taboo, it felt very difficult to talk about my emotions, even to myself alone in the room. I didn't know how to do that. I would not be able to navigate properly. And it would just become a spiral, a vicious cycle where I would try to help myself, but then I would come back to the place where I was not feeling good until I found this. And then I realized that there are ways out there, there are modalities out there that can help us actually get to the root and heal from the root. So you don't you stop the vicious cycle and you actually start feeling better about that particular issue that you were facing, and it starts to go away. And I've firsthand faced this. I know this works, and I know how much of a difference it makes in your perspective when you can think freely and feel lighter. That's my session prices for any kind of session. I have a 3 session bundle, I have a 1 session bundle, depending on whom I'm talking to and what is the problem someone's coming to me. I also devise custom session models. I may feel like someone needs more than 3 sessions and so on. So it's a very fluid structure in that way. I deeply encourage everyone to get on a consultation call with me, which is free. And I never time my consultation calls so that we can really discuss at length what is bringing you to me. And if you feel, if you vibe with me, if you want to work with me, we work. And if you feel not, and if anything makes you feel like, oh, I'm not right now ready for something, it's fine, you don't work. I don't push my offers down the throat. The idea is of a consultation call is for you to make an informed decision about how to move forward in your life, whether you move forward working with me or not. So please share it with your friends and family. They can easily just get on a consultation call and learn. And I do want to talk about a special offer that I'm running right now. And this was a very beautiful download that I received, where I call it Get Unstuck with Me. So anyone who's right now going through an issue in life which makes them feel sticky wherever they are, it could be a relationship problem, it could be a career problem, it could be an emotional issue that they've been facing for a while. It could be a trauma that has kind of come up in their life and they want to heal from it. It could be anything. I do encourage people to come on a consultation call even for this, and I again help them to understand why and how 5 sessions will really help us sit and go to the deeper layers and work through it. The price for these sessions are definitely discounted from our regular prices. So these are $399 US and 30,000 Indian rupees for the entire package of 5 sessions. And the last day for enrollment to this is 15th of March. Again, you can take a screenshot of this or you can reach out to me. I can text you or email you the details of this if you want to sign up for this, or if you think of someone who can use this in their life, please share it with them. My approach, as I said earlier, is trauma focused, and I have seen one thing. I'm already working with a client who signed up for this package, right? One of the most beautiful things that happened was in the first session itself, we just traveled to a very deep part of the subconscious memory, and it almost felt like we found a treasure. And I already know I have 4 more sessions to kind of heal and uncover from this thing that just came out in the session. So having a dedicated time with a client where I'm working only with the client's problem is something that allows to create this energy that we both tap in together. And it allows the client and me to feel safe and judgment free. And we can actually get deeper and deeper into the space. So this is what I'm doing right now. And I would appreciate anyone, all of you, to please go out and spread the word and let people come and heal from their core. This is where you can find me: Insta handle, Facebook, you already know that. And you can reach out to me at pooja@beyourownvoice.com. That's my email, or just tap into the website link. And going back to the body image. So the last takeaway, I will go back to the questions, but the last takeaway is this: you are not your body. You are the person, you are the emotion, you are the personality that is beyond your body structure. If you think you are your body, you're actually limiting. And this is a very deep line to begin with from a spiritual lens, but I'm just saying every single time you get obsessed over one particular body part, this line will help you to tap into the fact that you are not your body. The strength of your thighs is far more important than the size of your thighs. So do not confuse fitness and beauty. stay fit, take care of your body. This is the container that you're living in right now. It's important to take care of it. And you want to take care of your container, you want it to look good. I get that part. But you cannot be so confused with who you are and what are you doing on the outermost layer of who you are. So that separation, again, that line is very important. Don't let other people get in and stay in your head. They don't even pay you the rent. So the moment you see someone past a nasty remark and it just freaking makes you go and smack them in their face, I know you can't do that, but it's like somewhere it's like, okay, fine, you got into my head and I'm going to kick you out because you don't pay me rent. Like it's almost, I actually do that sometimes. Like sometimes, I'll hear some freaking stupid remark from anyone in the family or whatever. Something will happen on a group chat and I'll be like, the fuck? And then I'm going to be like, okay, fine, get out of my head. I have better things to focus on. I'm not going to let you stay longer than whatever number of seconds and minutes it has been. And does it really happen all the time that this person gets out of my head? Most often than not, it does. But this does help. I always create this imagery, and I'm like, no, I'm not letting you get in there. And it has helped me, especially with regards to beauty and body image. What happens is, we try to feel good about ourselves. We wake up and we're like, oh, our hair is looking great today, and you're like very pumped up. And then you're gonna freaking see some judgmental remarks somewhere coming your way, and that just drops your mood. So sometimes the only way is to shut that door inside. It's like, okay, you knocked, you came in somehow, you barged in, but I'm still gonna kick you out. And that's what I do a lot of times. When you start to heal from within, you begin to feel beautiful. And that energy in turn shines through you and makes you look beautiful to the world. The beauty, that's, I know, the most cliche thing, inner beauty and inner thing, but it's not about the cliche. It is genuinely the only thing that works when it comes to being beautiful. When I walk into a space and if I feel so freaking contained in my own self, the confidence that I ooze out, the ease that I ooze out about my body is what makes everyone find me so drop dead attractive and they want to talk to me because everyone is going through their mess. The moment you tap into an authentic, easy energy around you, you like that energy. And that energy is yours. So, you know what I'm trying to say? You don't have to really be looking some way. Even if you look some way, but you don't feel confident about your look, that look is not going to do anything for you. But you can walk into a room, into a party, not being very well dressed or whatever. You haven't really spent a lot of time, but you're in a great mood. You think you just don't, you're not even thinking about how you look. You're just so excited to walk into this room today and socialize and see a friend you've not seen in a long time. So you're basically present. You're not like, am I looking okay? Oh, I'm going to see this friend after 6 months. Last time I saw her, I was weighing so many pounds on the scale. I've actually gained weight. So what is she going to think about me? She's going to think that I've. So what's happening? You're not even excited to see this friend after 6 months. You are worried how she's going to see you. And again, go back to that question. Do you really love someone from the core of your heart because of the way they look? So this friend loves you for who you are. That's why you are friends. And so on. And are you here on this planet to impress random strangers? You actually probably will never see them again. Like it's almost choose your audience. And you don't have to impress anyone. You're not dependent on the act of impressing others to live your life. So yes, thank you for that. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen and I'm gonna definitely